see it from a mile away. And when it comes, it's gonna stay beside you and all that you are today. Hesitation and a second glance, a resurrection and a new romance, a change. The path is under you. It's a highway home. They're standing all alone. I've been waking up. Yeah, the daylight burns my eyes. You don't know what's wrong. You gotta get right with me. I've been waking up. And suddenly I see no surrender on a higher plane. Roller coasters don't do the same. I was lost and I found myself again. I will follow you back where you were before. A new beginning opened up. It's a highway home. They're standing all alone. I've been waking up. Yeah, the daylight burns my eyes. It's a highway home. They're standing all alone. I've been waking up. Yeah, the daylight burns my eyes, and you don't know what is wrong. You gotta get right with me. I've been waking up. And suddenly I see.
All right, I'm Jay Stone. Welcome to another episode of my show at rockmetaltalk.com. You can listen on GraniteCoastEntertainment.com, TheIndieAuthority.com, and StoneChromeRadio.com. Check my website for details and times. What you just heard right there was Highway Home by the UK-based band Tax the Heat. And I have two members of the band on the phone right now with me. They're calling in live. That's why we have an early show today, because we had to make accommodations for it being later over there than it is over here. So I have Jack, who plays drums, and the vocalist, Alex. So welcome to the show, guys. How you guys doing?
All good.
Doing very good, thanks, man. How you doing?
Good, good, good. I appreciate you guys calling in. So I became familiar with you guys through an email from, you know, someone we mutually know. So we got you guys on the show. So I'm not sure how many of my fans know I've been playing you guys since I got the single.
Great.
And just tell us a little bit about the band to start off.
Okay, so we formed probably, I guess, probably about 2.5 years ago. Jack and I, we sort of went to school together. We grew up together, but lost touch when we were, I don't know, late teens, I guess. And anyway, a few years passed, and it turned out that we were living in the same town as each other, but didn't realise, and bumped into each other in a record shop, and got chatting about just having a jam and making some music, because I'd finished in a band that I was in, and he was looking to do something. And so yeah, we just got together and started jamming, and without even thinking about kind of putting together it becoming a band, just making music and really liking what was coming back and what we were hearing, and then we set about sort of finding the other guys, and that's how we ended up eventually meeting Antonio and JP. So that's kind of how the band started, and since then we've just been sort of gigging and touring fairly relentlessly over the last sort of couple of years anyway.
So how did you guys meet the other two members? Through a classified ad, or did you know them from being in other bands or something?
I think it was through mutual friends. I think that we met Antonio, the bass player, first. I think we met up with him, had a few rehearsals with him, and he just kind of slotted in straight away, and it felt really good. And then he actually put us in touch with JP in the end. And again, we were me and Alex were knew what we wanted for the band, and we were starting to look for other people, tried out a few people, and we just knew that those were the two right guys as soon as we kind of jammed with them and played with them, and it all fit in really nicely, and we just knew it was going to work.
Cool. So
yeah, man.
Everybody in the band is an original member at this point?
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
That's awesome. So
yeah.
Is there one main songwriter, or do you guys collaborate together to make the music?
So basically, most of the ideas, well, I don't know. A lot of ideas will start from me just kind of noodling around with riffs, or I might have a melody, a chorus, a verse, and I'll take them into the rehearsal rooms, and then we'll all put our thing onto it. We'll all sort of put our stamp onto it, and it'll become something completely different. Or some of the best stuff we've done as well have just come from sort of jams that we've just they might even seem like a throwaway riff at the time, and then it just sticks with you, and we'll just be kind of we'll keep playing over it, and then it turns into a song. So yeah, we definitely all put in our sort of.
I think Alex is a great songwriter, and that's one of the things that really made me want to kind of start the band with him. And then, but what we really wanted to do from the start was really create a band and a group of guys that created something that was more than just the four of us. And I think that's the part of that we all have something to put into each song. So Alex will come up with a lot of the ideas, but they do often kind of take a new life when it comes into the rehearsal room, and we all get to play around with it and come up with our own ideas for it, and it quite often takes on a new life when it becomes a Tax the Heat song, I think.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, you guys have a very original sound, but yet it has something familiar about it. So,
yeah.
How did the sound and style come about? Was it something that, just been that way your whole life, basically, your writing style? Or, did it come when you guys met and joined together?
I think it is a real kind of amalgamation of both of those things in a way. Like when we first sat down, we were sort of thinking, well, what would we like to like? We wrote a whole load of stuff, and then we were thinking, well, what would we really like to write? Let's try making some stuff that's really kind of 60s sort of referenced, like all kind of major chords and power chords and like high energy, like you would see in like a real sweatbox club. And so we started out on that kind of path, and it just sort of evolved into what it's become. So it's kind of sort of dipped its foot in that kind of bluesy pool, but it's kind of gone off on its own thing. And I think we're at a point now where it's really become its own thing, which is perfect. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's definitely an original project now. Is there similar scene over where you guys are as compared to what you're playing? Is it more rock oriented or metal? Where do you guys fit in the scene?
I guess, I mean, really all that we kind of we never thought about where it was going to fit or what it was going to do. It's like Alex said there. It was it was something about making music that we think would just work really well in sweaty clubs, and giving it loads of energy, but having the songs there as well. That's what we really wanted to do and made it for, and just see where it went. There's a pretty good scene over here for rock. I guess more on the side of rock rather than metal, and we've had a lot of play from an internet station over here called Planet Rock, which is quite big, and they've been really good to us and helping us kind of build the name a little bit and stuff like that. And there's a good scene coming out of that, and also Classic Rock Magazine over here, which has been really good. But yeah, there are a lot of good, I guess, stuff that's based in blues but doing their own thing. There's a lot of good bands over here at the moment, so it's nice to sort of have somewhere to fit in, I guess.
So now to tie that in for a segue here into the new single that's going to be released tomorrow. This is your first single with Nuclear Blast, as you mentioned when we were talking earlier.
Correct. Yeah.
So congratulations on the release. And how did the deal come about with Nuclear Blast? How did you guys score on that?
Well, it's we'd kind of I don't know. We got to a point where we'd written just like so much stuff. Like we just everything we were coming up with, we would sort of demo up, and it was we were obviously getting to that point where we were thinking about doing the album. And our management sort of reached out to a few people, and some of the people that they thought could have been kind of into it were the guys at Nuclear Blast, and kind of played them the demos, and they got it right away. They were sort of really into it and saw it how we saw it, and like it's a little bit different for them because they kind of they tend to veer on the sort of heavier side of stuff, but they're branching out. They have been branching out into sort of the rock world as well, and I think they kind of wanted to do that with a UK band, so everything's kind of fitted in really well. And making the album, we've just kind of been doing it how we wanted to do it, and that's been great, working with who we wanted to work with. So yeah, I think having the single come out, we feel really excited for everybody to hear just to have a little taster of how the album's going to be, and I think it sums us up pretty well.
Did Nuclear Blast put you guys in the studio, or was this stuff worked on prior to the deal?
We that's kind of half and half. We signed the deal the night before we went into the studio, I think was the way that it happened. We kind of knew that we had to go in the studio and make this album, and we kind of knew that the deal was coming, so we made arrangements to go into the studio, and we knew that we were going to have to make it work somehow, some way. They came through with the deal, and we said, yeah, let's do it. And I think we kind of surprised them a little bit by going into the studio literally the day after we signed the deal.
That's cool. So it was meant to be, and it was perfect timing.
Yeah, so. Man. Yeah.
So now you guys are working on releasing something this spring. How many songs have you compiled for this new release that's coming out in the spring?
We've recorded 12 tracks, and we think it's probably going to be a 10-track album. So it was hard enough getting it down to 12, to be honest with you. Like I said, we got so many songs, and just to try and think about that, so we took it to our producer, and then we cut that down to 12, and now we're at a point where we're going to try and cut it back to 10, I think. So yeah, we're going to be releasing that in the spring.
We just want to put out the best of what we've got and have it nice and short and snappy, but the songs that we all really feel the strongest about, and feel like we want it to really feel like an album from start to finish, something that you want to listen to the whole way through, and so there's a lot of different vibes on there and stuff like that. But yeah,
so this deal you got with them,